men coming up to me and they're like, I like this chick, Caitlin, but she's into horoscopes, you know? She's into rocks. And I'm like, yeah, and you're into BoJack Horseman, so why don't you shut the fuck up? Right? It's all dumb shit until we die, okay? Let people have what they have. I had a roommate that was really into horoscopes. She was, and she stopped bringing them up on dates because men would give her such shit for it. And I'm like, well, now how do you find out what a guy's sign is? And she's like, well, I usually ask them what their birthday is. And I'm like, and what do they say to that? She's like, well, they usually say, like, what are you into horoscopes? And then I say, no, I'm just super into birthdays. This is way weirder. I write them down, I put them under my pillow at night. Weirdo. At least she's going on dates, she's trying, you know? That's good. I retired, I don't do it anymore, I don't try. What do I do? Puzzles and feminism. That's my game. That's my game, and I'm crushing it. Yeah, the thing about the feminist context is anything put in the feminist context will just ruin it for you, so don't do it. Most recently, Beauty and the Beast got ruined for me. Yeah, I took a hard look at that one. Yikes. Beauty and the Beast. I guess the moral of the story is if you're a hot guy, the rules, they don't really apply, you know? Gaston's hot, he gets away with shit. The Beast is hot, and then he's mean to an ugly woman, and then he has to be nice to the hottest woman in town. How is that punishment? Like, that'd be like if you caught your kid smoking, you're like, now you have to smoke this entire 6-pack of beer. I guess like the real like moral of the story is like, don't judge a book by its cover, unless it's a lady book. Okay. In which case, she's ugly and she's reading. Oh, she's a witch. Burn her. Am I right? That's a nightmare. Oh, it's a nightmare out there. It didn't make me like abundantly clear about like the disparity between looks of men and women. I mean, we live in Chicago. We see it, you know. I mean, the women here, gorgeous, and the men, you're definitely here, and you're present, which. There's something to be said for being present, you know? I used to hold Seth Rogen personally responsible for this, you know? Like, the disparity. I'm like, he gave all these guys this idea that they deserve a Katherine Heigl. You know? But that's not really fair, right? Because I started thinking about this, I'm like, this has been going on forever, right? We could look at literature, you know? Phantom of the Opera, or like Quasimodo, you know? I mean, these guys, they weren't going for the village hag. Okay? They were going for top tier women, you know? It's like, I don't know, I just feel like if you actually talk to Quasimodo, he'd be like, yeah, no one's ever shown me any kind of like physical affection, but like no fat chicks, am I right, guys? Like, fuck you, Quasimodo, you stupid incel. I don't know, He actually wasn't a hunchback. He got that from being on the computer all the time, writing terrible things about women. Messed up his posture. I do think it's getting better. I think we're on the rise here. It's got to be better than the '90s. Do you guys remember the '90s when a man was dating a larger woman? He was called a chubby chaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Right, and then when a woman dated a larger man, she was just called every single wife in every sitcom ever. So it's like, it's gotten a little bit better. I don't know. That's a low bar, I guess. I do think this is also a sign. The girls that I nanny for a living, and the girls I nanny, they don't have a dress code anymore, which I think is kind of a good thing. Because I don't know if you guys remember this, but when I was in 7th grade, I had a teacher, Mrs. Mahaffey, that used to make all the girls in the class line up against the blackboard and put their hands by their thighs to see how short their shorts were. The ladies in the audience know what I'm talking about, right? It's like regulation short, right? Right, yeah. And the idea behind that is like, if you show too much skin, you will distract the boys, okay, from learning, all right? So let's line up against the blackboard and really give them a show, ladies! Why are we taking time out of the day for this? Honestly, the thickness of a girl's tank top decides whether or not you can learn.
Yeah.
You're not meant to learn, okay? So, it's not in the cards for you. That's not me, that's you, sorry. It's tough out there. I do want to educate myself, though, about, like, feminist history, just in case someone tries to, like, test me on the streets here. And I found this out. This is a fun fact. Ladies, this is just fun. It turns out we got the right to abortions before we got the right to credit cards.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that wild? That's fun, right? That's great, right? Because men were like, yeah, sure, you can terminate a pregnancy, but women be shopping. A child is one thing, but credit, it's a long-term commitment. It's a nightmare, I know. Yeah. I just have one last for you, one last feminist PSA before I get out of here. I want us to all stop using the word pantsuit. Can we get rid of that word, right? Yeah. That's an extra, we got too many words as it is, frankly, you know? Yeah, if a man's wearing a suit, it's a suit. If a woman's wearing a suit, it's a suit, yeah. We don't need another word for it, right? Like, that's wild. Also, arguably, every suit is a pantsuit, right? A suit without pants is actually called a lawsuit, all right, guys? So make sure